Well, hello, it's Dr. Allen for your Marketing Pearl of the Week, and today's Marketing Pearl is about common sense. Now, I know people like to make marketing more difficult than it really is, but sometimes you have to reach down in there and pull out the most obvious thing, and that is common sense. You know, 11 years ago when my wife and I moved to the Great Berkshire Mountains in Massachusetts, we didn't really know anybody, and we didn't really have a doctor yet, or we didn't have a plumber, or we didn't have a carpenter. You know, all those basic things that you need when you move into a new area. And I have to tell you, we never used the phone book and did just random cold search for somebody that we knew nothing about. Why? We were always concerned that maybe we would get ripped off, maybe we would pay too much, maybe we wouldn't get the service we deserved because we didn't know them. So when I first needed a plumber, I went to the post office in my local town, very small, very friendly, only a couple of people worked there. I asked, who's a great plumber to use? And you know, 11 years later, I'm still using that plumber. Then we met some people, and I needed to know who to get my insurance for my life, my insurance for my home, my insurance for my cars. And we wound up asking someone we actually met that we became friendly with. And here it is 11 years later, and I'm still using that same insurance broker. Then my wife at school, where she got a job, asked somebody who's the doctor that they would see, and they gave her the name of a physician. And it's 11 years later, and that doctor is still my wife's doctor when she needs that kind of doctor. Of course, for most things, almost everything, I'm really a doctor, but that's besides the point. So I want you to use common sense for a second. Most people, think of yourself. Are you going to go to the yellow pages, or are you going to go do an internet search when you're looking for a doctor? Or will you do that after you ask a friend or someone that you know who's well established in your area? I think you're going to find that common sense dictates that most people will ask somebody for a referral, someone who already has developed those relationships. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your spot on Google Places, because you should. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have an internet presence like on Facebook because you need to. That doesn't mean that people won't do a search in YouTube or Facebook or Google for something. People will. But the majority of people are going to do it the same way that I did it and the same way that you do it. They're going to ask a friend or a family member, who should they go see when they need a chiropractor? Who should they speak to when they need a metabolic typing advisor? Because there's that trusted sense that they're going to refer you to somebody that's really going to do right by you, that's going to give you the kind of care and service that's good at what they do. I want you to think about common sense when you do your marketing. You need to be out there in the community building relationships. It's so important. You need to be going out there and doing lectures, or screenings, because you're going to build relationships that you can't build in a phone ad. You're going to build relationships you can't build on the internet. You're going to become part of the community, and when you become part of the community, people will come to you and people will refer to you all the time. And remember, common sense dictates that number one in your marketing is have personal contact with the people around you. Develop those relationships, because those are the ones that will really build your practice. Again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't need internet, but don't let people fool you into thinking that's the only thing you need. The only thing you need. Marketing is a much bigger picture. Use common sense in your marketing. It's the thing that's going to get you where you want to go. This is Dr. Allen for Marketing Pearl of the Week. I'll be back next week with one more Marketing Pearl to help you have the practice of your dreams.